Let's see if I can do this. Hey everybody, it's Keneke. Aloha. I hope you're having a good night. I come in the name of the Lord. And I am slowly but surely understanding how this whole live chat works. But still, I have to do it on my iPad. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I still can't see whoever is on here, but I'm glad that I'm able to post it on after so people can just stumble upon it. Yeah. This message, I was thinking, dangerous, right? I was thinking, and I wanted to add, this is for parents, okay? Parents with children, and I know how it is I know what the love of a parent feels like, okay? I don't have any children, but I have a dog, and you might think that it's not going to be the same, but it is. It is. But in this, I want you to have a little bit of comfort when it comes to the anxiousness that you might feel, yeah? Thinking about whether or not your child is going to have salvation, whether or not they're taking it seriously, you know? They might be in an age that it's one of those, like they're still getting to know themselves. How can you figure that they're going to know what's going to be the truth, yeah, of who God is, even if they want to believe in a God, and stuff like that, yeah. And so in that, I want you to know something about about our Father, yeah, Jesus Christ, Jesus of Nazareth, the man who came down here, and gave us all salvation and totally fulfilled everything, right? The amazing Father to all, if they choose, yeah. The Father to the parentless, yeah, the orphans, and the caretaker of the widows and stuff like that, yeah. The one who watches over the weak. In this, it is a story from the Bible, but it's a story, it's not a parable, it actually happened. And this can be found in Matthew chapter 15, verses 22 through 28, yeah? And so just real fast, yeah? So Jesus was doing his ministry, he's walking through, and all of a sudden this woman who was from Canaan came by, because it was known that he was in the land or in that area. And she said, "Lord, like, could you help me? My daughter, she's really sick and you can heal her, please help me." And he was silent, yeah? So the lady kept asking and making kind of a scene, yeah? She was wanting her daughter to live. And so the disciples of Jesus was like, "Lord, send her away because she's making a ruckus, you know, like she's shrieking and stuff." And he said, "I have come here only for the lost sheep of Israel." Yeah? And then she came back and she was worshiping him and she said, "Lord, help me," you know? And he said, "It is not good to take the bread for the children and give it to the dogs." Think about what he just told her. Now, in the manner he told her, that depends on everybody. That's why, you know, the spirit gets lessened whenever it's written down, just like a text message, yeah? You can put your own emotional connotation behind it, but just those words itself, yeah? The bread that I have for the children, it doesn't belong to the dogs. Like when I read that, I was like, oh, like, you know, when you're watching a battle, like a rap battle, and they're burning each other with comebacks, and some comebacks are so good, everyone goes, oh! That's what I did, like, when I read that. Because think about what he just said. The bread of the children shouldn't be given to the dogs. It sounds rather harsh, yeah? And it sounds, wow, like someone's begging you for help and you can say that. And yet the lady who was from Canaan, yeah, she continued on and said, "Yeah, but even the dogs will eat the crumbs that drop on the floor from the master's table." And he turned around and said, "Woman, you have such great faith, and for that the desire of your heart is granted." And her daughter was healed within that hour. Okay? Now, with that, and parents and their children, yeah? Think about what just happened there and how persistent she was. Yeah, this lady who's from Canaan automatically disliked in Jerusalem, disliked among all the people, like Israel's and stuff, right? And she came up asking for help, and he was silent to her. It's almost like I want to think that if she came up for help, he would acknowledge her and look at her. She asked him for help, and he just was silent, like ignoring her. Wow, right? Then he didn't say anything, but then the disciples stepped in and was like, send her away. And that's when he stepped in and said, I'm only here for the lost children of Israel. So he was sticking to his job. That's why he couldn't do it, yeah? It wasn't that he was making a choice to be, but he wanted to make sure, yeah, that he was just doing what he had to, for what reasons or not. And take it, this was a woman, yeah? And we all know that women didn't have that many rights back then, yeah? And then that's what he told to his disciples, but he didn't send her away. That's all he said, yeah? Which was the truth. Plain and simple, with no discriminations. If you can think about it that way, that's what the truth does. There was no discriminations. But she's worshipped him, continued. This is the third time she's approached this situation. Lord, help me. She was worshiping him. She was on her knees, okay? She loved her child, and that's what any parent would do. And that's what I would do for my dog, yeah? Like if she needed help and there was somebody who could help her, I would completely give up my life. That's how, if you are a parent and you feel like that towards your child, and you're worried about their salvation or however, whatever stage of life your child is in, and you're anxious about it, yeah? You know this, that you would do anything to get them life, to get them saved, to get them healed, to get them better, to get them healthy, yeah? Once you're a parent, it's like your life is over. Your life is now lived to pass on to that child. That's the responsibility, yeah? And that's how I feel with my dog. But she continued, third time. Once was silent, twice he gave a reason, and obviously loud enough for her to hear, because she was still there. She was still shrieking around. Not shrieking, I wouldn't say, but getting more desperate, you know? Making a scene, because who does that kind of thing, right? And the response he then gave to her was so terse and so stringent. Yet she still continued and persisted. And then he just gave her the desire of her heart. Do you see how that worked? That's my Father, okay? That's our Father. Obedient to what he knows he has to do, always. But he still remains a servant of all. And he will find a way if you are faithful in your own desire. Because love conquers all. Love never fails, okay? A parent and their child, there's a certain deeper love, yeah? There's all these kinds of different loves. We know about agape love. We know that God has his own love, yeah? We know all about these loves. And there's a love between a parent and a child that is not going to be, like a high school sweetheart type of love. There's so many different layers of this powerful force that can transform anything. And love must be sincere, and love can never fail, yeah? And so in this sense, I do encourage, if you're a parent and you have anxiousness about your child, yeah? Know that it depends to a certain limit of your own desire, on your own faith, and how well do you know the Father, yeah? And how persistent are you going to be? Yeah, it might not be the first time, it might not be the second time, it might not even happen in front of your eyes, it might be silent. But what you have to do is continue, because love can never fail. Yeah? In this, I was thinking, like, should I say how I can understand this type of love between a parent and a child with my dog? I didn't want to offend anybody, just in case, that's never my intention, but sometimes communication, yeah, and the way that people take things, I don't know, it goes through certain filters and they take it completely radically wrong. So in this sense, I'll tell you, like, as an example, if God were to tell me that I must sacrifice my dog in order to save the world, I would let the world burn, yeah? And if God told me that he wants my dog sacrificed because he wants her, I would war against God, and he would lose. As emboldened as I am to say that, that's the example I can do, and I feel that's love. Love never fails. That's what I'm saying. Of course, I wouldn't say he wouldn't ever ask me that, but he it's understood, yeah? But that's how big that the love for a parent should be if I have that kind of love for my dog. So in this video, what I want to do is put out there this encouragement to parents to not be anxious, yeah? And it, to a certain limit, it depends on your own faith and your own persistence, yeah? Not to worry about your child, but to make sure that you are strong enough to love them as much as you can. Even if it's in a stage that you cannot understand them, they're in a stage that they're going through things. It's so radically intense now for kids nowadays. There's so much information and they're growing up faster, yeah? They're getting influenced by things a lot quicker. Information's everywhere and a parent cannot be there all the time to protect them, yeah? But at the same time, they need to not be so mollycoddled, yeah? And in that, don't be so anxious when it comes to the faith, yeah? If anything, strengthen your own faith through that love and continue asking the Lord in prayer and petition with thanksgiving in your heart that He has blessed you with such an amazing baby, yeah? Your child. And in that, your desire will be answered, yeah? Give it to God. And then in time, they will be on their own and they will be accountable for their lives. But if you can maintain this part while you are lives like that, you should instigate and instill good role modelships by the love that you can show them, yeah? And the wisdom that you can impart to them in the ways that you can. You might not think that they're listening, they might slam the door, but I tell you, and we all know this, we were all listening, yeah? When our parents, we were acting rebellious and like, oh, they don't know anything. We were listening, no matter, yeah? Seeds get planted and love never fails. So don't be anxious in your heart right now for your children, yeah? Remain a good example and remain strong in your own faith. And continue maintaining that love. My other video, and as I said, prophecy has been fulfilled. And God is now known to every single man, woman, and child. Child is included in that, yeah? And that is the law of love. It's been fulfilled. That's why the whole world is talking about it's about love. Because we now have it to give. We never used to talk like that, yeah? And that means God has poured His Spirit, which is the Lord, inside of our hearts. But that's only the first step, yeah? And all it takes is one step. And He will be faithful to complete it. If each person can then, when they are of an adult nature, on their own maturities, yeah, can prepare their own hearts, because that is the responsibility of each person, yeah? But you as a parent, in the influences that you have, you can show right now, no matter, yeah, what's happening, know that it will grow if you can maintain your own faith and make it stronger, and keep loving. That's all. Just keep love bigger and bolder and better and better. Listen and stuff like that. There's a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding. There's a lot of parents who are immature. They don't have the correct maturities. Their children are taking care of their parents. Do you see? Yeah? And God has them too. And so, yeah, use that as some encouragement, because I know that how hard it is already. And once again, Matthew 15:22 through 28. 3 times this Canaanite woman got once ignored, 2 a reason, 3 a rebuke, and 4 finally a grant, because the Lord is good and He's love. He never fails. He will find a way if you can maintain yourself. So praise the Lord, yeah? And I hope that helps people. And if this does help you and it stirs something in you, if you had that anxiousness for your children and it does stir, and you know your friends, yeah, are in that same situation, if they have kids, usually people with kids kind of congregate together, yeah? Share with them that Bible verse, Matthew 15:22 to 28. Or you don't even have to mention the Bible verse. The story is very simple, yeah? And you can just tell them like this is something that happened. And then at the end, tell them that was actually Jesus Christ who did that for this lady who was not even a part of the reason He was here, but He went out of His way just to do it anyway because she kept being persistent. He could see her faith and could know that her love was sincere. And so you can also help encourage friends if this helped you. If it did, that means you have something. And if you have something, you can give something, yeah? And that's how this whole thing works, because we have to work together. So that's for the parents out there, and you all have a good night. Thank you for listening to this video, and I leave in the name of the Lord, and I leave us all in the name of the Lord. Thank you.